Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden. Hey, welcome back to my channel, Running Wild. It is Friday, the day before Broken Arrow 50K, and I'm just on my little shakeout run. Gonna go about 3 miles, and I'll do some strides as well. It's hard not to go farther, but I'm patting myself on the back at the same time because I booked a hotel that was right next to some pretty nice trails, and I had no idea when I booked it that it was so close to trails and I could run from the hotel, which worked out because then Sage could take the car and go run on the Pacific Crest Trail, and yeah, it just worked out. So it could be a really relaxing morning, don't have to drive anywhere, and get to be on trails and enjoy the day a little bit before I just sit back and relax. So one thing I realized I did not mention in previous videos is I've done Broken Arrow twice before. The first time I actually did, it was the first year Broken Arrow ever happened, and I did the short race. I was coming off of Achilles surgery. It was one of my first races back, and I know the short course changed a lot in the past years, but I did end up winning that. And then the second time around, I jumped in the 50K pretty last minute. It was right after I did the Mountain Running Champs, and I just wasn't fully prepared for the race. But more than that, I went in with some Achilles pain, and that year it was a snow year, and like half the course was snow, and the snow just killed my Achilles. And so I remember like getting done with the first loop and be like, I should just stop here. But a friend was there for me, and he's like, no, just keep going. And so I completed the course, and I still think I was like 6th or 5th. I did okay, but like what I don't like looking back on that race was my attitude just was not fantastic. That second half, like I could have dealt with everything better. So that's a big goal for tomorrow, is just to stay as positive as possible, enjoy running without pain, enjoy the people around me, because everyone who's going to be around me tomorrow makes me better, and I couldn't get the most of myself without anybody who signed up for the race. And I just want to have a great adventure. It's gonna be a faster adventure than normal, but you know, that's my true passion in this sport, is the adventures I get to go on my own 2 feet. So that's pretty much the goal for tomorrow. And I know like when I have fun, I end up running my best anyway. And yeah, so I'm gonna continue on my shakeout run, and I'll check back with you later. Golden, golden things. Mount Laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and a hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves. I'm somewhere in the middle, try to find myself again. But life is one big riddle of the future and what's been. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, 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 running to better times. Go, 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 from my emotions I'll go, 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 running to better times, 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 to better times. I'll talk more about my race later, but I just want to say thanks to Broken Arrow for putting on a great race.
and also like a really nice atmosphere. It's awesome just to sit around after the race, drinking a beer with Sage, and just to cheer on other runners coming in. I wish there was more of that in these US races. So yeah, I just wanted to, thanks to Broken Arrow and all the like awesome people running today. I chatted with a lot of nice people, had some people push me really well today, and it's much appreciated. Okay, time for a race recap. But I'm a little tired right now. I've been hiking around all day, which will be in my next video. And there's also a lot of bugs flying around me, so try to make it work. But race recap of Broken Arrow, 50K. You know, overall I'm pretty happy with it. But it started off, Allie Mack, who won the race, she just took off with the win from the start, and she was just on her own. But I ended up running with actually a really large pack of women for a good chunk of the first loop, and that was awesome because it's very rare where I get to run with like a strong group of women in an ultra, so that was awesome. I don't know, there's probably at least like 5 or 6 of us, and we stayed together most of the first climb. Started breaking apart as the descent started, but yeah, I was feeling pretty good. There's like parts of that first climb where it's like, am I going too easy right now? And it's hard to tell. Like you'll hear later in the race, I faded a little bit, but at that point in the race, is like, is it wasting more energy to like hold myself back? So I don't know. It's hard to know what is exactly the right thing to do in that situation. But I don't know. I think running in a pack probably helped me pace it in a good way. But anyway, that was pretty much the first loop. Starting off the second loop, what I was really happy with that I didn't nail the first time I did the race, that I felt like I nailed this time, was I did the big descent and I was able to start running uphill pretty well right away. And that's something I practiced over and over again training for the race. And for all the trail runners listening to this, if you're doing a hilly race, that's something I suggest practicing. Hilly race or mountain race, descend hard and then get yourself to run right back uphill. It's just such a good training stimulus for a lot of trail races out there. So did that pretty well, because probably the first 3 or 4 miles of the loop, I guess 3 miles, like you have to be able to run in order to do well. And I was really happy with that. And at that point, I was sitting in third. I could see second right in front of me, but Hillary Allen is also right behind me. And we stayed pretty close together, all 3 of us, on that climb for the second loop. And then got to like the top of the climb. I knew, again, like both women are really close to me, but I started descending a little bit. I stopped at an aid station on the downhill. It's kind of like going into downhill road, and got past. And so I was in fourth at that point, and I tried to find another gear, and I just couldn't. And that's was the main thing with the race for me, is like I just could not find closing speed. I didn't feel like I was running terribly, it just not as fast as I needed to be to hang with the woman in front of me. But overall, this is my first ultra in 2.5 years. Or I should say, it was my first ultra finish in 2.5 years, and it was a competitive race, and I hung in there for a podium spot, didn't quite make it, but I can't be too mad about that. Like, there's so much that happened the past 2.5 years. Just this past winter, like I didn't know if I was going to be able to continue running because I just could not get my form how I wanted it to be. So it just felt like a really solid step in the right direction over the weekend. And now I know like I need to just focus on my closing speed. Would like to finish on some like speed overall, just so I can like descend faster and kind of feel free. Definitely my weak point of the race was this downhill, pretty like smooth dirt road where I just felt like I had trouble opening up. And then I think the only other thing I can think of that maybe I need to work on is upping my electrolytes even more. I already taken quite a bit of electrolytes, but I really think maybe I'm somebody who's on the high end of the spectrum for needing a lot of electrolytes, so I'll play around with that a little bit. But otherwise, I think I just need to keep working. I think my legs will be more calloused after this race, and then if I just continue training after some good rest, hopefully just things will continue to improve in the future. So yeah, those are my takeaways. Thank you so much for following along this journey. Really means the world to me. Yeah, until next time, keep running wild.